Hi there. This is my latest project that I'm working on, and a couple of people have asked how these cannons work. In the last video I posted there was a demonstration of it, so I thought I'd give a bit of an explanation. First we'll take the upper deck off and we can take a look at the wiring, and I'll try to explain it. There's a lot of wires, so it's kind of tough to follow exactly what's going on, but I shall do my best. So on the inside here, we have a pair of these relay boards. These I just bought out of China. They were fairly inexpensive. They cost about maybe $15 thereabouts. And this one I've labeled so that you can see the sequence in which they fire. And they come with nice little controllers, so it's pretty straightforward which ones you push and makes sense. Each one of these has a wire that comes out of the relay and it goes to a glow plug. These are the glow plugs that are used for like nitro engines for RC cars and things like that. So they're pretty straightforward little circuits. Then I have a wire that goes back. They all kind of join together just to be common, and they return to the negative input or output for the relay. The positive comes from 1.5 volt D cell, and the reason I have kind of two batteries set up here is the relays need to have a higher voltage than the glow plugs. The glow plugs can only handle about 1.5 volts, and then they'll damage themselves if you put too much voltage through them. So I have this battery, which is just a 7.2 volt, and it's sufficient to power these relays even though they're 12 volt relays. So the 7.2 powers the relays to open and close them, and the actual circuit that powers the glow plugs is done by the 1.5 volt. So I managed to get a relay that works and doesn't destroy my cannons. When it comes to loading the cannon, it's pretty straightforward. I use a small amount of flash cotton. You can buy this online from Magician's Supplies. A little small amount will do, just a pinch. And I take that and I pack that into the cannon, and I slide it back and make sure it's all the way touching snug against the glow plug. You don't have to push it too hard, but make sure it's in there. The amounts are not tremendously critical. You can play around with different loadouts and find something that'll work for you. But I usually just sort of eyeball what seems about right. I put a small piece of flash paper in as well. This is also a propellant, but I find it mostly just does a good job of producing a little bit more fire occasionally, which is a little bit nice for dramatic effect. It also prevents this next step from fouling the initial load of flash cotton. So I have a syringe that's full of some talcum powder, and I just put a small amount in here. This is going to simulate the smoke for the cannons. The flash powder or the flash cotton and paper doesn't make a very significant amount of smoke at all. The hardest part of loading these, and the part that I'm trying to find a more efficient solution for, is packing. You need something to go in the barrel that will let it build up a bit of pressure. I've tried rolled up pieces of cardboard. It's tough to get a good seal with those, so right now I'm just trying little slices of Q-tips, but it's hard to get them to be just right. So we'll grab another Q-tip and give it a slice. I'm trying to find some way that I can sort of load these as efficiently as possible, because there's 34 cannons on this ship, so it takes a little doing, but we'll give it a shot here and see how it turns out. So I've got another little piece of Q-tip. We'll stuff that in there. That feels about right. You want it to be snug, but it shouldn't fight you too much to get in there. So we'll give it a push. Yeah, that sounds about right. So now we'll give it a shot. there we go. So when you're doing one, it's a little bit cumbersome because you've got to do all the steps at once, but loading up all the cannons on one side, you sort of get an assembly line going. It's not too bad. Anyways, if you have any questions about these cannons, feel free to just send me a message. I'll do everything I can to make it simple. The wiring is the trickiest part, but it's actually quite simple. I might include a diagram. Have to draw one up first, but yeah, thanks.